The city was my playground, its heartbeat echoing through the concrete veins that crisscrossed the urban landscape. But amidst the towering skyscrapers and bustling streets, there were whispers of something darker, legends that lingered in the shadows of forgotten alleyways. I had always been drawn to the unknown, compelled by a morbid curiosity that bordered on obsession. Little did I know that my quest to unveil the urban legends would lead me down a path of terror that twisted through the very heart of the city. It started innocently enough, a casual conversation in a dimly lit bar. The air was thick with the scent of aged whiskey, and the flickering neon sign outside cast an eerie glow on the faces of those huddled in the shadows. An old man, weathered by time and burdened by secrets, leaned in and spoke of dark alleys where the city's sins were etched in graffiti and whispered by the wind. "You ever heard of Bloodstain Lane?" he rasped, his eyes gleaming with a mixture of fear and excitement. I shook my head, urging him to continue. "The legend," he said, spoke of a narrow alley where the ground bore witness to a gruesome crime, a crime that stained the pavement with the blood of the innocent. Locals avoided the alley, claiming to hear anguished cries on moonless nights. Intrigued, I set out to uncover the truth behind Bloodstain Lane. The city, usually vibrant and alive, took on a different hue as night fell. I navigated the labyrinthine streets until I found myself standing before the infamous alley. It was narrower than I had imagined, the tall buildings on either side looming like silent sentinels. The air was stagnant, and the distant hum of the city became a muffled symphony, drowned out by an unsettling silence. As I stepped into the alley, the temperature seemed to drop, and the distant city sounds faded into an eerie quiet. The walls were adorned with graffiti telling tales of rebellion and despair. But as I ventured deeper, the art morphed into something more sinister. Shapes twisted into grotesque figures, and faces contorted into expressions of agony. It was as if the very walls held the memories of the atrocity that had occurred there. My footsteps echoed through the alley, each one reverberating like a heartbeat. The air grew thick with tension, and the flickering streetlights cast long, distorted shadows that danced on the ground. I could feel eyes on me, unseen specters watching from the darkness. It wasn't long before a chilling wind whispered through the narrow passage, carrying with it the faintest echo of a distant scream. Suddenly, the graffiti seemed to come alive. Figures twisted and contorted, their painted eyes following my every move. I tried to shake off the unease, attributing it to an overactive imagination, but the feeling persisted. The walls themselves seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy, and I quickened my pace, desperate to escape the suffocating grip of the alley. That's when I saw it, the bloodstain, a dark splotch on the pavement that seemed to defy the laws of time. It pulsed with an otherworldly glow, casting a sickly light on the surrounding graffiti. As I stared, the temperature plummeted and a guttural growl resonated through the air. Panic set in, and I turned to leave, but the entrance to the alley had vanished. The walls closed in around me, the twisted figures on the graffiti contorting with malicious glee. I stumbled backward, my heart racing as the bloodstain seemed to seep into the very fabric of the alley. The ground beneath me felt alive, pulsating with an unnatural energy. Shadows coalesced into indistinct forms, whispering in a language I couldn't comprehend. A cold sweat broke out across my skin as the air became heavy with the presence of something malevolent. In the darkness, I glimpsed fleeting figures, apparitions of the past condemned to relive their torment. The anguished cries grew louder, enveloping me in a cacophony of suffering. I tried to cover my ears, but the wails penetrated to the core of my being. As I frantically searched for an escape, the alley itself seemed to warp and twist. The walls closed in, the ground undulated beneath me, and the bloodstain pulsed with a sinister glow. I was trapped in a nightmarish realm. The boundary between urban legend and horrifying reality blurred beyond recognition. With each step, the walls pressed closer, the spectral figures closing in. I felt a cold breath on the back of my neck, and a voice whispered in my ear. A guttural, otherworldly sound that spoke of unimaginable pain. The shadows converged, forming a nightmarish tableau of the crime that had stained Bloodstain Lane. And then with a sudden jolt, the alley released its grip. I stumbled out into the dimly lit city streets, gasping for breath. The walls of the alley seemed to exhale, returning to their mundane existence. The bloodstain, however, lingered as a haunting reminder of the darkness that dwelled in the heart of the city. As I stumbled away from that accursed alley, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had glimpsed something beyond the realm of human understanding. Urban legends, it seemed, held more than just tales of caution. They were gateways to a reality where the sins of the past bled into the present, leaving indelible marks on the city's soul. The shadows whispered, and the dark alleys held secrets that defied explanation, leaving me forever haunted by the chilling revelation that some legends are better left untouched.